turn it over to
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to have it anyhow.
That's right.
Okay, John,
All right.
repeat that motion.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Cross made the motion. Mr. Morrison seconded it. We are out of executive session. Let the record show we took no action. Now, come on up, Mr. CMPDD.
Dave Wade and Gray Loose, CMPDD.
Y'all have 2 minutes.
All right.
I warned him.
Getting into everybody's lunchtime, I'm sure, so.
We just been here since 9.
I understand. We were here today to update you on the comprehensive plan, let you know where we're at on that, as well as talk to you about some proposed zoning amendments, and really need to get direction from the board how to proceed with the zoning amendments so we could fold those items into the comprehensive plan as well, if these are some things you want to do.
Well, I think this is going to take, I think we need to put thought into this rather than just rushing through it.
Oh, absolutely.
We are going to do, start on our subdivision ordinances next month.
Mm-hmm.
Could you all come and work with us on that then? I mean, I don't want
Is
to
that
just
how
put you off.
do we need to do, kind of work
Would
this together?
would that not work side by side with this?
The two items, while they are related, these are a little more specific
All right, come on.
as far as zoning. You know,
Worthless.
keep one of these, sorry.
Spoke up. You could have spoke up.
I'll speak up. What do you need?
He's asleep over here.
Think so.
We were asked early on to.
He's not here. He won't be back.
All right.
He heard you were coming. No.
We were asked early on to, one of the items that y'all might want to consider was minimum square footage on housing. We were able to get the building permit data from Renee's office from 2010 to 2015. We analyzed all of that data, and I have it more specific here if you want to see the lows, the highs, as well as the average square footage. The one I passed out just gives you the average square footage and then what we thought might be a reasonable proposed minimum, and that's broken out by zoning district.
I see here you got 1,200 square foot, 1,300, 1,400. I don't know if I really want to go there, period.
I sure don't want to go 1,000. Man.
I thought that, honestly, we did a motion that allowed the supervisors to, as we brought these subdivisions up, we had the authority to do whatever we wanted.
We don't have anything in our zoning ordinance that affects a minimum square footage.
But if we have a developer wants to come in and says, I want to put in 1,000 square foot, we have the authority to say no.
Well, you have the ability.
Our ability to say no.
And
If-
you tie that to other issues.
That's right. If they want a zoning change, that's where you have the leverage. But if he comes in with the correct zoning application, you don't really have, if he wants to do that, and he meets all the burdens of the zoning, you can't stop him.
But
correct.
if we have it set for R1D, 1,200 square
I'm
foot,
just saying, but right now,
we
you
just
don't
did
have
one
it.
today to do R1D.
Right.
But
So-
you rezoned the property. You rezoned it. You're not approving the development of any kind at that point.
Well, I'm just saying though, if we do this, then that's going to allow the guy to put in a 1,200 square
Yeah,
foot
they're gonna look at
house.
this and go, well, I can do it with 1,200.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but where you are right now is if it meets the R1D zoning ordinance at present, if he wants to build 1,000 feet because it's zoned properly, you don't have the ability to say no.
Why?
You don't, it's
We
not the
don't
law.
have minimum square footages.
You're not dictator on that part. You
No,
can make it
I've already been
conditional on
across
zoning
that.
change.
I thought we went through this and it gave us a per development ability to say whether we wanted this square footage or not.
No, sir. If you have other issues that are conditions to a rezoning, then one of those conditions that you can add, this is sort of like the city of Brandon approach. If you want to tie into our sewer, you're going to do the following things. But if you don't have that hook of a condition having to be satisfied, you can't
You're out of luck.
require a minimum square footage. At least you can't legally do it.
So then,
If we don't
An
like these
example,
minimums, can you change that?
Right.
Greenfield Estates, that's R1D, is it not?
Yeah.
So he could have come in and said, I want to put 1,000 square foot house in there. I thought at the time, whenever we did all this, we told the guy that there was a compromise made, let him put 1,500 square foot houses in
We
there.
accepted that voluntarily.
And so really, we could do it until we get bucked on it.
Yes, sir.
Right. And keep in mind, these are just
Say
some
we keep
proposed.
doing it until we get bucked on it.
That's a heck of a price to pay.
I would rather raise these minimums to where we're comfortable, and then you'll have a little something that you can lean on.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, these are just some proposed minimums. Probably came in a little low, just kind of wanted to gauge you guys to see what you want to do. These are, again, just proposed. We can raise those. If you want to look at the rest of the data, to look at what was built in those 5 years, I've got some of that here as well. This will give you what some of the highs and lows were as well as the average. Again, we're just here to throw this at you. I'm not expecting any decisions today, but I wanted to give you time to kind of chew on it and think on it, because we're going to need some direction going into amending the ordinance, how you guys want us to proceed with that. The next item on this white piece of paper I handed you, number 2 was under subdivisions. We were asked, and this is related to the subdivision regulations, to consider changing the way we define subdivision, breaking it out into major and minor subdivision. Of course, the main difference is major subdivision would be 5 or more lots being subdivided.
I don't see anything different in this one.
Yeah, they're identical.
These are identical.
None of that. Let's talk about the last
Oh, I
5
see.
years
Yeah,
of permits. The
The
second
what?
one she has that 5,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
I'm looking at.
It's a little more,
Yeah.
there's another line added there.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give you a little more data to look at. That gives you what was built in those 5 years that are by zoning district, what was the lowest size, and then what were the higher ones, as well as the average.
Well, as Ken Martin used to say, I think we're gonna have to relick this calf or something like that.
Sure.
I'm not so sure about. I don't know.
The market, you got to let the market do what the market does too. I mean, developers know what's going to sell, and how much money they're going to make. I
Yeah,
mean,
but still though, man, that was just like out there in your neighborhood or your area, 468. Man, we are inundating that area with small homes,
It's like
and they're going to end
apartments.
up being slums, after
10 years.
yeah. So
Well, they'll
I think
all
we
tell
have
you that.
all that size we need.
Y'all voted all that yourself.
No, we didn't.
Believe me, I was fighting it as much as
It's
I
like,
could.
it's
so-
like the 468 developer we talked about. Scott May wants to come in and rezone the property. Well, that's when we have the leverage, and the city does too, because he wants to do the sewer. So, that's.
But when there is no request for changing the zoning, we don't.
You don't have anything.
Right.
You have
But
no
this
leverage.
could give us something.
It could, and we can raise these minimums. The city of Brandon did something a little different when we worked with them back in '06. I believe their minimum for R1 was 16, maybe 1,800 square
18.
feet. And then step down from there, R2 is 16, and then 14, I think, something along those lines. I have to go back and review it. But these are lower than what the city did. We could match what the city's doing. I mean, that is entirely up to
What's
you
the
guys.
city? What are they?
Like I say, R1 would have been 1,800 square feet. I believe their medium density residential, which would be more like your R2 or our R1B, was 16, I believe. And then from there, it stepped down to maybe 14 for the patio homes and so.
Yeah, maybe 15 even.
I know you say that we're at a big risk doing this, but these developers also know they have to work with our community development and get all these permits done. And so, I don't necessarily, I sure don't want to go down to 1,400 square foot set in stone that we can build those. I like the way we got it now. And so far, we have not been bucked on it yet. I'd say we won't in the future, but I think that every developer comes through here knows they have to work with us.
Yeah, but they-
on getting all these built.
Well, it's just like, like you were saying, like those on, at the end of 469, you know, we turned that one down, that's across from, was it Cedar? What's that, Cedar Stone? Cedar, oh, end of 469, just before you get to 468. Was that subdivision?
Yeah, Cedar something.
Yeah, anyway, we were, you know, they came in and gonna build on the opposite side.
That's right, yeah.
And we turned it down because it was gonna be the small, same thing, which is just enough of them. I mean, enough, you
Oh, I
saturate the
agree.
area.
You're preaching to the choir on that side of home. I mean, with the Greenfield Station going and what we got at Lowell in my area, you're exactly right.
I mean, just saturate it.
you know,
And then
it's-
that's for your schools, and
Plus
like I say,
what's already
10
out
years,
there
they
on
turn into
18.
rental houses.
So I don't. Do you have any suggestions how you can handle that in a different manner? I mean, I don't. You know, if unless we
Well, if you-
rezone it differently and make them rezone it. You
It
know?
can't be 1,800 square feet.
No.
Well, and if you at least adopt minimums, you can still negotiate, hopefully, through your building department to try to get something a little better or a little larger. But I think without having any minimums, then depending on the situation, if something's properly zoned and someone wants to build their permits, then they really can build whatever size they decide to. So that, that's totally up to y'all. I did come in with these a little low just because we're trying to, I wasn't sure how you guys would want to regulate that. Because, you are talking countywide. We could also do it, I gave you every zoning district if you wanted to look at maybe not instituting minimums in agricultural zones, but maybe doing it in other zones. I think that would be.
When you go in and look at your zoning classification in the county, do you take accessibility to public sewer into account when you figure out what density to go with or propose?
Absolutely. That's the reason your ag zones as well as your R1 or RE1 does not allow platted subdivisions because of densities and access. And the flip side of that is we're trying to protect the rural areas as well from overdevelopment. So it's kind of two-sided. You want to protect those areas from encroachment of more urbanized uses and then regulate the more urbanized areas.
Well, what did you say, you can't do a platted subdivision in a agriculture area?
In
It'd
the
have to
ag,
be rezoned, yeah.
or in the ag zones. You'd have
Yeah.
to rezone them.
Right.
And that kind of folds into our redefining what we're calling subdivisions as to classifying them into major and minor subdivisions as well. And that's tied to infrastructure.
Mhm.
I'm in favor of trying to come up with something. I don't like leaving this open-ended. I know what Jay's talking about, but also I think that when that elephant drops, and it's going, it's going to get somebody, and it may not be in my district, but somebody on this board is going to get nailed,
Amongst 1,000 square foot home.
So as far as my 2 cents worth, I'm in favor of doing something. I'm not sure if we don't need to tweak this some more or give some more thought to the density issues in some of the more populated areas that we see, like kind of like the 468, 469 area in my district, or up at 125 in your area, whatever. But
Right.
Well, I know you have some areas in your district that are still zoned R1D.
what is our
That are not,
RD?
it's high density.
That's the patio.
Oh, honey, yeah. Oh, excuse me, yeah. You betcha. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
How long will that zoning hold? That's another thing that I don't like, getting off subject a little bit, but they zone that and then it just sits there. Nothing's done.
That's what
on it.
we're doing here. That's what the purpose of the comprehensive plan is, to allow us to look and address and see some areas out there that we would like to maybe look at R1D areas and say, okay, now the dynamic has changed out there. We need to change that and make that more controlled. And I think that's what they're going to hopefully present to us. 'Cause
Yeah, I
know
understand, but like some of these that came in way back and they
Yeah.
platted this and that, but they never did anything, but
And they
it's
went
zoned
belly
that
up.
way.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've got some areas in mind, the south side of town, that I want to discuss, that we've discussed. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now would be a time if you choose to do that. I think the burden's going to be on the board though to kind of show why you're rezoning it. If someone wants to buck you on it, if they want, fight that fight.
I think we could if we show we already have a lot of houses in this area
Yep.
that are.
I think you get with our board attorney. He's got plenty of time on his hands. He doesn't have time for another assignment,
Absolutely.
So,
If we were to set a minimum, could we, if we say we want to put 1,800 square foot, could we then do an exception and allow a developer to do smaller houses?
It would be a dimensional variance.
Once you
and you'd have
start
to-
that, here it comes.
Start it, you know.
So
Why have it?
Violate.
well, that's all the more reason I'd say we don't do it.
What I think you would want to do, Jay, is to set a minimum that hits a median point.
Mm-hmm.
And they've already done the analysis to tell you that, I don't know if it's by district, but these are attenuated to permits that have already been pulled. So you've got square footage data already there. We sort of back into what a reasonable minimum would be if you hit sort of a midpoint between what's already being built that falls within that density classification.
Well, I don't think we've built anything less than 1,600
Well,
square
that's the
foot.
point. And so maybe your minimum would just simply be in that midpoint range.
I think so.
If everything in R1D is hitting around 1,600, set your minimum at 1,600.
But then the problem with that is, we're telling them, come on, 1,600 square foot, you're gonna build every house 1,600 square
But it's
foot.
still the minimum. If they want to go 1,800 because the market works better there, they're going to go 1,800.
I just wouldn't drop down 1,100, 1,400.
There is a need for those size homes in certain areas still. I mean, so it's to say arbitrarily, we just, with the county, it's gonna go countywide, we don't want anything less than 1,800 square feet or 1,600 square feet. It's a little disingenuous. I mean,
Really?
I really don't.
Hundreds of square miles do we have?
You think that on a platted subdivision,
No.
that it would be good to have less than
No.
a 1,600 square foot
No.
house?
No, I don't think anywhere in the
But
county
I'm,
is.
well,
is-
See,
I'm
y'all
thinking
getting into free market here, folks. Y'all, you're starting to get on my backside.
No, I understand what Steve's saying. I mean, to me.
All the more reason to leave it open.
If, say Bernard King owns 1,000 acres, and he says, I'm ready to downsize, my children have grown, they're leaving the house, my wife and I want to downsize, and we want to put our house right over here under this oak tree in the middle of this 500-acre field that I own, and we want to build a 1,450 square foot house in Leesburg. I would say I don't have a problem with that. Now, if he said I want to build 50 of them, I would have a problem with it. But that one, I mean,
Get into the dynamics of attracting people to this county. Not everybody's going to walk into this county and have the money to build an 1,800 or 2,000 square foot home. You've got to provide starter homes. There are certain ways you can do that. You can do it with brick, or you can do it with garages only. You can do it with your other ordinances to kind of shape the development that goes in. It gives you teeth to give you more control over the quality of the development. You can still have 1,600 square foot homes, but you can have nice 1,600 square foot homes that don't become sun chases or whatever else.
We
you've
weren't
got.
saying 15, 16.
That's what I'm talking about. You want to go down. You're starting to
I don't
we've got
wanna
them,
go
but they're
down
still,
lower.
huh?
I don't want to go down lower.
Well, I know you don't want to go any lower, but you're taking stuff out of the market. I mean,
We
just
got
can't.
plenty of starter homes
Out
there.
Well, obviously,
And now
you
they're
started
rental
some
houses.
good discussion, and something that we will continue
Amen
on.
to that. I'm agreeing with that.
Right. Again, we just wanted to start that discussion. We can come back later and talk about it more in depth.
But we need Daniel here too.
We definitely need Daniel. This is more so his area than anybody else.
No kidding.
Jay, you want me to go through the rest of these?
Oh, you got
zoning?
some more stuff?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
That second handout I gave you, the white sheet. I mentioned the subdivision differentiation between major and minor, and that's more of a definition thing. That's just a change to your definitions where we break those out. Again, that's tied to infrastructure. We also put something in there that on the minor subdivision, which would be 4 or fewer lots, that it would require at least 60% frontage on the existing street. And the thought behind that, after talking with Renee and Craig, was we're trying to avoid the flag lots where somebody's just using a little easement to get back out to the street, and you've got all these different
We just
lots
stirred
coming
some
off.
stuff down.
Let's shut it down.
Number 3, we wanted to, of course, we were asked to address food trucks and mobile vendors. That's on that second sheet there. And I won't go through each of these. I'll let you guys read it. But basically, just it regulates them to only industrial areas and commercial zones. In the commercial zone, it would be conditional use, which would give you a lot of leverage to decide whether or not you want to allow it. Probably not going to see a lot. We don't have a lot of industrial area.
We don't have a lot of food trucks.
Right. I think what prompted this was the one on
The one.
Bannon.
The one we have.
One, right.
The one we have that opens very rarely.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't affect anybody.
But
We did include some hours of
The coffee
operation,
shop across the street.
and of course address the permitting fees and that sort of thing. So again, I'll let you guys look through that. One thing I felt like we needed to address was under the RE1 zone. I'm on number 4 now. We were allowing replacement of existing manufactured home under what we said was a hardship case, but we had no definition of hardship in the ordinance. So it was just kind of left open.
So if we do define this, what happens if somebody comes in that doesn't fall in this that we wish to give a hardship to?
Well, I think we covered the 4 major areas where you allow that, where it's taking care of maybe an elderly family member or
So you think you
someone.
got all our bases covered?
I think so.
Number 4, numeral 4, the number.
Yep.
Cases where emergency housing is needed.
Yep,
Okay.
1 year time limit.
Good bit of discretion there. So I think there's plenty of flexibility for you guys to find that there's an emergency situation that justifies it.
Yep.
We're trying to avoid the arbitrary argument by just saying hardship without
Oh, for
defining hardship.
never mind. I thought you was talking about where we waived our permit fee. You know,
No.
I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah. We were just trying to put some definition to what we're calling hardship there. Again, some of this is cleanup, adding a definition of liquor stores since they're mentioned in the C3 commercial zone. We didn't have a definition. Not a big deal. Okay, number 2 under 6 is something you need to look at. Currently, we had some kind of open language at the end of each zoning district under allowed uses, where we list the uses such as single family, accessory buildings, and so on. We had that language in there, any other use which the board determines to be of the same character and nature. It was kind of open-ended.
Well, that was designed specifically that way.
I understand, but that's what
Well,
conditional
isn't this
uses.
the language we put in to take care of our subdivisions?
if you want to go fight the court, the city of Brandon went out there and fought for that
We
1,800
have
square
not
foot
been
minimum
sued,
one.
though.
So if you want to do that,
We have not been sued.
Well, this would hopefully keep you out of court because it's. I think
You wanna
it
remove it,
strengthens.
though.
Well, it strengthens the ordinance. You still have your conditional uses that you can allow, and at the end of your conditional uses, it does say other uses similar to these. So I mean, it gives you some flexibility, but under your outright allowed uses, I think it's a little dangerous to leave that language in there.
your attorney's shaking his head in the affirmative for what it's worth. The only thing I don't see here, I want to see.
We may have to hire some outside counsel to go over this.
I'm not here to discuss it now, but it's used car lots,
Okay.
countywide.
Okay. We can address that.
Got plenty of them.
Yeah, I went down 18. Why do they have the hoods all raised up?
I guess make sure they got an engine.
I just
I thought that's where they always put those little signs for
every,
sale. You
it was
know?
like 10 or 12. And every one of them had their hood up. Do people not think they got a
I
motor?
let them
in it or
air
something?
out. Let them air out. Sunshine.
Okay.
We
I know-
appreciate it.
I realize y'all are ready to go, but I want to mention that number 3, the removal of the catastrophic provision.
Yes.
That's under your non-conforming uses, where we talk about the non-conforming use is destroyed 50% or greater. You're not allowed to replace it, and that's to hopefully get it out, move it out of there. There was a catastrophic provision added many years ago, kind of as a catch-all to say, yeah, but if it's some kind of disaster or whatever, you can replace it. It's contradictory to all the language before it. So again, just from a legal standpoint, it's best to remove that language because it really contradicts what you do in the paragraphs before that. So I just wanted to point that out and make you aware of it.
Looks
So-
good. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I'm sorry you come in and we rushing you, Dave.
I
I think
understand.
you've done a good job, and
Even though he sounds extremely insincere, we do appreciate it.
when it's a better time for everybody, and we get a little bit closer.
Well, only
And we were not prepared for you to be here today. We didn't know you
understand.
was coming, so, you know, I think everybody was already set on go whenever our attorney says, oh, and by the way, we have Dave Wade out in the hall waiting on you.
We did not need to discuss square foot minimums.
do not.
Yeah, we're discussing it now, but we didn't need to discuss that before we got finished.
Yeah, you're right. So,
All right, we'll be glad to come back and discuss that when we
yeah,
go.
I'm sure there'll be plenty more to be done on it. Obviously, we're all in agreement. Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
We
I
have
make a motion to
one
adjourn.
item that we need to take action on. We need to vote for officers.
I make the motion, we appoint Mr. Morrison as president, Mr. Cross as vice president. That for
For
term.
the, we've never really discussed this because we can't all serve the same period of time. It's 9 and 8 months. Somebody's got to be 9, somebody got to be 8.
She's got a list
So-
right there.
All right.
Do
What do
just
you
let
got?
everybody do 9
This
months, and when it gets
was
down to
Oh,
me,
some are 10. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
those are 10.
So the Jared and I
I'll
are
do
going to be
8.
9. Everybody else going to be 10.
Right, Jared come in and he'll do 9, and the vice president with him, and then whoever is the next president will do
Yep.
10 to
All right.
10.
Thank you for shafting Jared and I, but that's all right.
Well,
I'm kidding with you. Okay, we have a motion
You
by.
want another month, Jay?
No, I'm good. I wanted off last month.
they were swapped out from the time before, when if you serve 10, you now serve 9.
Well, they weren't here, so they couldn't serve
There's a
anything.
motion on the floor.
let's go.
I'm still president.
He's a rude son of a gun, that's for sure.
All right, we got a motion. Do I have a second? All right.
I'm sorry.
Motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye. Ayes have it. Congratulations, Jared, on being the president of the board.
Enjoyed it, guys.
Now you can call for the adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn until whenever we need to come back together again.
Second.
I'm not the president anymore, sir. You are.
Mr. Moore,
All right, for the record then, Mr. Barr, next time I'm having a discussion, don't
Yes.
tell me to shut up.
wait a minute, who's Bond and who?
Hey,
Me.
man, you got to call the deal.
Yes.
You're the president. You got to call the